Baldurs Gate 3 is the latest and one of the greatest games released this year. The talented people over at Larian Studios made the game so good that it got trash talked by other devs, calling it Rockstar level nonsense of scope, an anomaly, and that people should not expect this type of quality from games yet released. Baldurs Gate 3 is basically D&D the game, and it's great. It's a party-based RPG set in the world of D&D. If you're like me and have wondered when playing Dungeons & Dragons, that it would be great having this as a game. Well, this is that game. This game starts with you creating your character, and then it's time to head out. The game is split into 3 different acts, taking place in many different areas. Each act is completely different than the others, and offers something new. Each act also has something surrounding your companions. You can have 3 companions with you. They can either be NPCs, or you can play with your friends, if you have any of those. Other studios might have had Act 2 and 3 behind microtransactions and DLCs. Larian gives you full experience and has no microtransactions. One of my favorite parts of the game is that you are not a spectator to the story. Your choices matter a lot here, and I can see you completely change aspects of the game. Don't overlook something just because you don't think it will matter later, because it just might be in this game. Another great thing are the characters. Each are multi-layered and will change throughout the game, when doing parts of their quest, or when you make a choice that they might approve or disapprove of. Some of my favorite characters were definitely Shadowheart and Karlach, both of which has stories deeper than I would ever have expected. The game also does a great job in encouraging exploration. In Act 1 you can come across injured adventurers, and they tell you they have been attacked by an owlbear. You can choose to attack the owlbear or not, but if you do, you can get the owlbear cub in your camp, and eventually it can help you in the final fight. It is actually the owlbear from our camp. These little things like this can make a game that much more enjoyable. Combat in this game also works great. There's a huge selection of spells, cantrips you can use, a large selection of weapons you can wield, some that have great abilities. My favorite one by far is this trident. By the way you get this weapon is completely one of the most obscure ways that I've ever seen. Each combat encounter was unique to me, as they all took place in different environments, and that came with unique opportunities, like pushing goblins down some spiders, or using your manpower to throw them off the building. It's completely up to you. Your race, class, subclass will impact how you can play the game, as you can get different dialogue options and be better at certain things like wisdom and intimidation. It will also impact what spells, cantrip, weapons and armor you can use. A special shout out has to be given to the music and voice acting in this game. The voice acting especially was amazing, with everything feeling natural and having some great performances.
The loneliness, the fucking loneliness, all of it, so I could rot. Because the person I trusted the most gave me away to the devil.
The narration was well placed and very engaging. Now, does this mean the game is perfect and there's nothing that can be improved upon? No. There's some things that can be better, like the performance for one. For the most part the game runs great and I haven't had any FPS issues, but there have been some rendering issues. This was most prominent in the last act, where everything takes a bit to render in. It was definitely annoying having to wait for the game to render everything. This happens not only when you start up the game, but also when you fast travel to different areas. Now this didn't ruin the joy of playing the game, but only served as a small annoyance. Baldurs Gate 3 stands out like crazy in today's gaming industry, as it doesn't have any microtransactions, DLCs, loot boxes or battle pass, and it's one of the few games where you can actually get the full game the first time you buy it. With so many studios putting profit before quality, it was very refreshing to see a studio switch it around and put quality before profit. This is where the truth lies with Baldurs Gate. Larian really cared about the players and wanted to make sure they had a good experience with the game. It also helped that they're huge nerds as well. When you have the CEO come to work in full plate armor, you know it's going to be good. Some devs say not to have this game as a standard for new games coming out, but Baldurs Gate 3 will definitely be my new standard for video games coming out. If you want to see more of my content, make sure to check out this video next. If you want to catch me live, then be sure to join me when I stream on Saturdays at 10 AM CST. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.